We
My
are
sounds okay?
live.
These are really expensive.
No,
The sounds
yeah, you're
not good.
good. We're good. We're on. No, yeah, we're good. What's going on, YouTube? I'm your host, the Financial Conspirator, back with another banger with the brother MJ in the house. Welcome back, brother. How have you been last week?
Um, Last week was a really good week, man. Just living life, willing and dealing, man. Making deals, trying to stay above water in this turbulent environment they got us in, and just trying to help some people out along the way. Um, Good brother Ian dropped some jewels on me. He's like, as long as you're trying to make other people money, you're always gonna make money. You know what I'm saying? So I think often our focus gets a little shifted from trying to enrich ourselves instead of trying to enrich other people. If your entire circle, if you've enriched your entire circle, then you by definition is rich as well. So just
That
trying to do
part.
that, man, and live my dreams, bro. How are you? How
That
are
part.
things stateside? How are you? How's the scandals and the crisis? I heard something like Biden about to resign or something.
I wish.
What's going on?
I'll take
And
it, man. Cold, man. All I got to say is where I'm at, it's cold. All right, snow, sleet, rain. I'm tired of seeing you niggas post up with the clearest blue water I've ever seen in my life. Remember clear blue skies, but that's not neither here nor there. One day, I see y'all. I know I can do it.
I
You know
mean,
what
yeah,
I'm
bro,
saying?
it is absolutely possible, man. You know, you kind of gotta start building a life that you don't want to vacation from. And yeah, the water out here is crazy, man. Like, people really sleep on people. People go to Cancun, and they have people really sleep, man. Mexico has a lot of
Right
coastline.
there. It's
They have
right there,
they have a lot of coastline, bro. They have
man.
a ton of coastline.
You
So
ain't gotta cross no ocean to see some beautiful stuff, bro.
yeah, there are some really tough beaches and some tough places that doesn't come second to a lot of places in the world, man. This stuff, some of the stuff out here is just as nice, um, as the stuff we got in the United States and in Europe and in Dubai. Like they have some really fly stuff out here. So, and it's a little
Definitely,
cheaper too. That's why I vibe with it.
man. Peso the mafia out there. So you guys know what we're about. We're gonna go over the job layoffs. We're gonna go over the housing market, and then we've got some CNBC recessionary outlooks. We've got some debt ceiling solutions from the Democrats. I know that's going to be a great segment, so don't tune out because that debt ceiling solution is incredible, and I think you guys really, really want to pay attention to it. And then we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the CFTC and Bitcoin in Africa, and then we're going to talk about El Salvador's half celebration or an $800 million celebration going on in El Salvador,
From
and
buying
I
the
will
dip.
explain. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. As soon once they went from $1 a day, I think it's up 30%. They started buying Bitcoin, one Bitcoin a day, and since that tweet, it's up 30%. So I mean, man,
That's a good
Bitcoin's
trade.
not bad. Okay, in the middle of a recession, 30%. Right, that's not
I mean,
bad.
30%, like you say, 30% on an Apple stock is not that much. 30% on Bitcoin. If you're buying one Bitcoin a day and you're going heavy like that, that's a nice little run. You could take profit.
Money, money. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that situation right there is probably the best news I've heard since
Listen,
they adopted Bitcoin. Probably the
I'm
best
really
piece of
impressed
news.
with El Salvador's president. He is they say like under certain circumstances the only way socialism will work is under like a philosopher king,
Mm-hmm,
like the Gaddafi
mm-hmm,
model or
mm-hmm,
whatever.
mm-hmm.
I think this guy could be one of the situations where we can have a sovereign digital currency and a model of socialism, not communism, but like actual socialism, where it's a model built for the people by the people, but also fair enough so there's no huge wage gaps and employment differences and
Man,
racial
um,
inequalities. I mean, El
because I
Salvador is
can't.
very national. I think they got a good future there, man. It's and as an investor, you should be looking at a place like that to be buying land. You might get it
We
by
haven't, and they haven't even released the bonds backed by geothermal energy from the volcanoes. All right, what is Bitcoin backed by? Just nothing. It's not backed by anything. Short it. Short it. That's what I say to those saying that. We haven't even gotten there, and there's just already so much to talk about. I
yeah.
cannot wait for the El Salvador. Please don't tune away, folks. There's that is some very big news. But let's get there. All right. The layoffs continue here in America. Amazon 18,000, Google 12,000, Microsoft 10,000, Salesforce 7,000. More than 55,000 global tech sector employees have lost their jobs in 2023, and it's January, folks. It's January. Okay, we haven't even gotten halfway through the first quarter. The Fed has not paused rate hikes. The Fed hasn't started cutting rates. We have seen 55,000. So
Wait. They agreed. They haven't actually done it, but they have agreed to slow them.
Slow. They haven't paused. They're still hiking.
Done that part yet?
Right.
They've agreed to slow the rate at which they hike.
But we're still hiking. It's still getting more and more expensive.
They haven't done that yet. They just said they're going to do it. So
right.
That does matter. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But sentiment is everything. It's good to get the details right because that's
55,000 global tech sector employees. We talked about last
week. Call a recession. We called it.
We talked about the tech stars taking a beating. This market cycle, we talked about the tech stars seeing records amounts in it. Not just laying off, people are leaving these companies, workplace environment, all sorts of reasons as we're seeing the transition. But I think we're moving into a new day and age with our employment vision, how we see how employees and employers view each other. I think we're I'm a fan of the gig economy. Obviously, I'm a fan of the true capitalist model of everyone out here for themselves. And the reality is, man, I'm sure a lot of these people were good people at these companies. I've been a part of massive layoffs during COVID and had to fire good people for little.
You and me both.
Yeah, little to no reason, man, and it's not a fun thing to do. But like I said, I think this is a healthy thing for the economy because, like I said, a lot of these people are going to, probably help transform what the next economy looks like, which is going to be more of a decentralized type of work style, where you may work for 3 or 4 different companies and have several non-competes in place and just independently work on your own work as a contractor. At least if you're not thinking like that. Let me just put it to you like this: if you're not thinking like that, you're behind the ball already.
No, absolutely. And if you see that the world is moving towards automation and robots, if you see McDonald's has stores without any employees in it, if you see banks without tellers in it, if you see that the world is moving towards an AI generation, why are you not on YouTube watching Harvard programming classes? Free programming classes. Harvard has entire courses online. So you're sitting there complaining and you're scared, which is, fear is a human emotion. So I can't blame you for being afraid. But how long are you going to sit idle in that fear and not do anything? Not go study how to fix robots, not go study electrical engineering. Like, this is all stuff you can actually do now to prepare yourself. You're already, if you're aware of what's going on, you're already ahead of the game. There's people out here who see this shit and they don't even think twice. They just scroll.
I have my son in a robotics class where they learn how to program.
Here we go.
Fight robots and build robots at the same time. He's 7, and he's already learned. Like, this is how I challenge myself, man. Because if you look at Chat GBT, not to get off subject, but I just want to put something in the domain, right? If you look at Chat GBT, you look at all of the AI and robotic things that are taking place. I am genuinely curious about how to prepare my child to be a producer in this next cycle, right? Because we got to think the things that we went to college for, the things that we went to school for, the things that we trained for, and the jobs that we currently are competing for is going to be done mostly by AI. So I can't tell my son to go get a traditional job. Maybe work. ChatGPT just won a case, a legal case. It passed the bar. ChatGPT has just passed the Wharton Business School exam. You see what I'm saying? Like, at what point do humans in the workplace even matter? So I always challenge people to kind of think next steps, think progressive. Because, like I said, if you have kids, you bring kids on this planet, you got to start thinking about how are they going to be a producer on this planet? How are they going to survive? And like, what kind of jobs and things, and how are they going to make money? What's that going to look like in the future? Right? You got to start positioning for that now. So, like I said, ChatGPT already won its first legal case, and it passed the bar and the Wharton's business exam. How long do you think before it starts coming after all of those Wall Street jobs and outsourcing everything to the giant AI?
All right, here's the play. You get the Tesla bot, you put ChatGPT in the Tesla bot, and now you have fully functioning robotic
You got
4-foot human beings.
Will Smith movie.
iRobot, you got him. There you go.
But you got to remember, it's iOS software, so Apple programmed it, right? So you got the Tesla robot, you got the ChatGPT software in it, and then you got
Twitter. You got Twitter, so they can master emotions and human dialect and how humans are thinking and how we react to shit. Like Twitter, everything's already in place. The horror movie, the plot is being set for the horror movie. All the characters are being put into their positions. You know who the evil scientist is. You guys see what's happening here. You're gonna step up. And are you going to be the Terminator? Like, who are you going to be here, folks?
Me and my homeboy was talking about this, and I always like to troll people when I'm sending all sorts of AI things, because I find it really interesting. If you're not really looking at that, I'm actually in a business right now where I'm trying to build something that's going to compete with AI for the next 5 to 10 years, right? So that's like kind of my mindset. I'm trying to build something that competes with it, right? Outside of that, though, I was talking to my boys, and I was like, yeah, ChatGPT, all of these programming for robots, man, whatever. He was like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be John Connor and lead the resistance. And I said, man, I think my best bet, I'd rather be Kyle Reese and just jumping in between these time zones, you know what I mean, and trying to come back with that information, or at least trying to see around the corner with this AI stuff. And
they're not movies; they're documentaries.
Yeah. And remember, man, Terminator and Matrix was really just one big giant movie. You have to really watch it as
one long movie, straight up. And if you don't think that automation is coming for your job, think again. Because if it can become a motherfucking lawyer, you don't think it's going to learn how to scan an item and take cash and put it into a register and give someone their change? If it can become a lawyer, okay, this thing passed the bar exam, one of the most prestigious, most difficult exams in the academic field. He's got his degree. I'm calling it a he.
It also passed the Wharton's MBA business exam program, which is another prestigious. All of your big time Wall Street people, they all went to Wharton's business school. It's one of the top business schools in the world, and ChatGPT demolished the test. Yeah. So don't.
Don't let it go over your head. It's not something that people are just talking about. This is something that's really going to.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Already happening. Like we're just telling.
Not a conspiracy.
It's not a.
This is not a conspiracy theory.
It's already happening, and it's just a matter of time before they're doing. So when you study robotics and how they understand the life cycle of AI, it's like basically when you can take the human element in building AI completely out of the question. So when AI is building AI and without
self-learning,
That that's called machine learning, self-learning, and is becoming sentient and self-aware. And then Skynet's officially live. They're gonna try to wipe us out. That's absolutely what. Yeah, fun stuff, man.
No, that's great. It's gonna be awesome. So I just want to let's see what just to switch the tone, get out of the death spiral that is machines
AI, yeah, dude,
and the robots. Let's let's talk about another crisis that's just looming over the heads of all Americans. Oh, wrong button. I'm still learning, guys. Okay, give me a minute. Don't freak out. Hit the like button while you're at it. Here we go.
Home builders reporting massive issues at the beginning of 2023 signal that the U.S. housing is about to get even worse. Take a look at this. KB Homes, the sixth largest home builder in America, just reported that in the fourth quarter of 22, they experienced an absolute insane 68% contract cancellation rate. That means that over 2/3 of home buyers in the quarter canceled their contract, walked away from the deal, gave up their deposit, a figure now, everyone, which is even higher than what we experienced in 2008. A signal, if you're a home buyer out there wondering where the market's going in 2023, well, we know where it's going. It's going to get worse. Prices are going to go down by more, and builders are going to have to cut the price by even more because they're now dealing with a massive pile up of inventory. Because when you have 68% of buyers suddenly homes, data showing that the number of quick move builders homes completed in less than 90 days now totals 32,000 here in December on the U.S. housing market. That's up a massive 200% from where it was a year ago, and it's now 50% higher than the quick move-in inventory levels in 2019 before the pandemic. And
68%. That's a lot, all right? That is a large number, okay? That's almost 3/4, people, of these homes. But you have Twitter and YouTubians telling you that the bottom is in. Okay, this is it. Get your money in the market now. You have to slow down and smell the coffee, all right? Look around. Look at the entire, broaden your horizon besides the S&P 500. Look at what's going on in the world, people. It doesn't look good yet. It's just the fact of the matter.
And even if you're looking at the S&P 500, man, those with those moves that you're seeing, man, I remember when I first started trading. Just to kind of speak on the S&P 500, I remember when I first started trading, and I remember distinctly what price it was at because I was trading it pretty regularly, and I didn't really understand what I was doing, so I just knew it was 3,200, right? 3,200. From 3,200, when I first started trading, the S&P 500 went straight up for about a year and a half. Like it just went straight up, and if you're looking at it. Like if you're being objective about what the S&P 500 looks like, it's trading sideways at best. It has to go down to 3502, and it's trading sideways at best. It's just in a larger range. But gotta zoom out a little bit. But like I said, we are in for an interesting year. When do you think it will start to recover truly, though? I do think this is a fake. This is a fake pump. What do they call that? Pump fake. You know what I mean? Like
Bear market rally. Bear market rally. Yep.
Not a real rally.
Yep. Personally, I think Bitcoin is the boat, or the Bitcoin is the tide that rises all boats, and I think that the halving is going to play a large part. Also, the Federal Reserve is going to play a large part in when things start to look better. When the Federal Reserve turns those money printers back on, which is inevitable. That's the only solution they have, to turn the money printers back on. I think it'll coincide with the Bitcoin halving. I think something's going to happen where those two things just start to mesh. They start working together, like synchronized. They already are. If you look back at the recessions that we had, the quick flash crash in 2018, correlating with Bitcoin's halving cycle. I mean, I think the halving cycle has one more big, what is it called? One more big influence over the market. I think it'll get less and less each, but I think this next 2024, 2025 is when things are going to start to look better to the upside. Because Barrons, unless you guys read Barrons, predicts that the housing cycle, the housing crisis will happen at some point in 2023 or 2024. So not just a crash, but a crisis. The combination of high consumer debt, a slowing labor market, and inflated housing prices has created a ticking time bomb. It will explode. We just don't know exactly when, but it is never too late to prepare. And the Bitcoin halving is in June. Looks like they're predicting June of 2024. So, anything after that, I think we could start maybe not looking for more downside. Start looking maybe sideways. I don't think it will go straight up because this is not something that you recover from 2020 style and just break new all-time highs. This is going to be a great reset. A great reset.
We're trading sideways, and we have a pretty. I see, like I said, we got to get back down to 3,200. Well, first we have to get 3,500, and understand to move the S&P 500. This is why I track the S&P 500. Is I think it's $1.5 billion to move the S&P 500 1%.
Yeah, 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. So you have to you have to understand how much money is at play.
Mm-hmm.
But also I look at it as a very optimistic time to be an investor, man. If you can, a good time to, time the market to where you can buy some properties in some of these overvalued areas that, there's some places across America that just have seen some ridiculous home prices that just don't even make sense when you look at them. Like, you'll be able to get some deals on real estate. I also think it's a good time to, get a lot of dividend stocks on discount during this dip. You know what I'm saying? I look at these recessions, man. Most of the time, people like me and you, we get rich in recessions. You feel me?
This will be my first one.
I mean, I lived through 2000. I'm a little bit older. I'm gonna tell my age a little bit, but I lived through 2008. My dad damn near lost everything. And then, so forth, so on. I wasn't trading it in the market like that, but like I had to, kind of deal with the real life implications of, fraudulent ass banks writing dirty to unsuspecting customers, and my dad happened to be one of them. Who still, shout out to the big homie. We still got a case out at the Supreme Court, going at Wells Fargo for that. Yeah, like for real, like so we didn't really give up that fight because we knew they did some fraudulent shit with the hypothecation and all of that. Either way, not about that. But you know what I'm saying? There are real world implications that you have to deal with when you go through this. But I also think there's a lot of opportunity if you can be on the fortunate side of things and have a little bit of money to play with. Or if you just got that dog in you and you go out here and get it, and like if you're really willing to go out here and get it, it's a bag out here for you. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, man.
That's kind of what I see in the next 2 years. I agree. I think we're looking at about 2025 before we really start. And if you want to talk about Bitcoin getting back up to all-time highs,
2020, it's gonna be a while, boys.
2025. So, but in the meantime, we could easily see 30 to 40, 50,000 in the next 2 years.
And we could see 9,000. I mean,
the market goes up and down. It's like a roller coaster. It's going to go up. It has to go down a certain point before it can start going up again. It has to go up to a certain point, and then it must test down. The market hates voids, and it's always going to go retest the areas they have. Has memory.
Speaking of recessions and things of that nature, is CNBC. A recent poll of economists from the Wall Street Journal pegged the recession chances in 2023 at 61%. Even 96-year-old former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan has weighed in, saying that a recession is "quote unquote" the most likely outcome given the current economic trajectory. This,
Are you surprised?
this is some shit that we've been. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. You simply cannot have overpriced houses, underpaid workers, and high inflation. You just can't have that. Doesn't mix. It's like oil and water. Oil and water.
Wait till the summer. You throw a couple of high profile situations in there. Everybody kind of fighting over what's left in the job market, money market. I don't know, man. I'm from Atlanta, man. It seemed like every summer it get a little hot. You got the protests jumping off and the riots in the street, and the next thing you know, everything's on fire. And I mean, they burnt down. I mean, I remember like 2 years ago, they burnt down like half of Minnesota. You know what I mean?
No, bro, they had the National Guard in Baltimore, a few blocks from where I was at, bro. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, and that was when we was printing money. Think about it. I want everybody.
Yeah, the National Guard. That was when shit was okay.
That was when the Trump checks was coming out and everybody had bread. Imagine what happens when the bread runs out.
I'm telling you, people think these runs on the bank are only going to happen in Lithuania, only going to happen in these estranged countries. And people bring it in.
The bank won't happen in America because people know that their money's not in there. I think
you think they've accepted the fact and they just know?
Yeah, they know they may be lucky enough to have some type of physical assets and maybe a safety deposit box that they can get out or something like that. But I honestly think that they know, like, run on the, like most Americans, if you're running to the bank to cash out your last little bit, it ain't because you got a lot in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you're optimistic. People in Massachusetts, at least, if we're getting 2 inches of snow, they will run to the store and buy all the toilet paper, all the eggs. Bro, okay, the world's gonna end. Oh my god!
But,
so I just panic is
like that. No, are people really still grabbing cash like that out in America?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, panic is real. If they're not running to the streets, they're gonna run somewhere, try to loot something.
They're gonna run somewhere.
So this is incredible. I mean, this is absolutely to just. It blows my mind. The Democrats are pushing to eliminate the debt ceiling and allow unlimited government borrowing. They say whatever the government needs, they should be able to have. Okay. Where are they getting this money from? Okay. Unlimited borrowing. Where are they borrowing from?
There's a long short answer for the question.
Give him the whole thing. All right, give him the whole thing. I want the whole answer. Pause.
I mean, the fact that people still literally participate in the system. Well, let me put it like this. First off, only about 42% of the American population actually participates in any voting, including for the president. So people think a lot of people participate. It's like, when you think about it, if they got all of these votes, right? Only about 100 million people participate, right? How many people live in the United States? Roughly 3. We count all the illegals, probably closer to 4. So you're talking about 400 million people, 100 million people actually participate. So sometimes you're 25 to 40% of the actual population that agrees with either one of these idiot parties say. But basically what this is saying for layman's terms is Democrats push to eliminate the debt ceiling, this is straight out of the Obama handbook, man. Like, this is actually not something that hasn't been done when the Democrats come in and they start talking like this, because they get a little power hungry and they obviously want to push the debt off onto the American people. If you don't understand how that works, that's for another time and place. But please understand that you will absolutely be paying for these endeavors. And the real difference between Republicans and Democrats is Republicans will generally tend to open up the checkbooks for the people every once in a while. When the Democrats play like they do, but they actually do the opposite and make it worse for the people, generally speaking. But they have a giant mind fuck on the whole population, and they actually think it's the opposite. They get people to vote against their interests, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's all manipulation, but essentially, unlimited government borrowing if you don't know what the government uses as collateral, it's literally your son, your kids, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. You are the collateral that they use for this borrowing. I mean, that's the only way I can put it to make you understand.
No, that's it. That's facts. They say allow unlimited borrowing as if they're borrowing from some other entity, and they
borrow it from, okay?
Because the real title should be allow unlimited government theft from the American people is what it should say.
What the real title should be. This is gonna be brutal for people that don't understand this. Involuntary servitude indefinitely not for sale any longer.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Involuntary servitude absolutely mandatory for any American-born citizen.
Forever. Unlimited. Eternally. For the rest of time. We want you to be so in debt as soon as you're born, you don't even think about leaving, or you don't even think about leaving your hood. You don't think about leaving those four walls. You will own nothing. And you will be happy. Okay? Each person right now, we're already like 69,000 in debt per person. That's some crazy shit.
Even further than involuntary servitude. Okay, let me say slavery.
Yes!
I mean, just this.
Guys!
Democrats want slavery forever.
If they want this for you, your children, your children's children, blessed are the young, for they shall inherit the national debt. I can't remember which white baker said that, but just look up that quote and you'll figure out who it was. Some famous white guy. But blessed are the young, for they shall inherit the national debt. It doesn't get, they're telling you right to your face. We are going to borrow money. We are going to steal your paychecks. And we're going to use that to fund Ukraine. And we're going to do it forever.
I want to urge everybody to escape if they can.
America!
Yeah.
You gotta leave!
It's gonna get worse there.
You have to leave!
You know, my buddy always had a saying, it says, the world is in a race to hell. America's gonna get there first.
Oh, it's a karma thing. This place is built on genocide, rape, and pillage. This place cannot stand for much longer.
Oh, it's a
you can't.
Thing. I never like, bro. I love how oh, it's a karma thing. It almost has to happen. Yeah. So, I mean, you know,
mandatory.
Stretch out your wings and don't be afraid, man. Life is short.
Don't buy the media bullcrap. Africa loves you. Okay, you are welcome in Africa, Cuba, Puerto Rico.
There are people of color. Black and brown people all over this planet that see you as family, that see you as, you know, brother and sister from another part. Like you are loved, you are beautiful. Like it is one of those things. Like you just kind of got to get out of that American box that we're all in. I used to be guilty, man. I saw some, you know, after doing so much traveling, man, and being in certain parts of South America, and I just saw, you know, black and brown people, all different shapes, sizes, shades, and colors, man. It's just like some of them look just like me. Some of them look like, you know, they're supposed to be over in Africa. It's like we're all over this globe. That's because we're supposed to be. And I just don't feel like we're taking advantage of it by having a community that can be able to use those resources on an international level.
Let's see the solution. Let's see what the solution is. What solution do we have? What hope?
Who will receive digital assets?
Both.
The Futures Trading Commission will definitely have Bitcoin because Bitcoin is clearly a commodity. It is fully decentralized. And then other assets will probably be in large part at the SEC. So we're going to have to provide them with adequate personnel and tools and guidance and statutes, and they'll have to make regulations that will allow them to conduct the adequate consumer protections that are necessary with regard to cryptocurrencies that behave like securities.
Senator, it's a great interview. We so appreciate you answering the question. Thanks very much for being here, and come back soon.
Bitcoin, the commodity, the answer, the omega, the alpha,
Digital gold.
the one and only. That's it. That's the one and only. There is no second best. Okay. And with these endless, it seems, lawsuits, never ending one after another, Gemini, Coinbase, XRP. How many? Like,
Man, I got a couple
guys-
that ain't been involved in a lot of stuff, man. I you know what I'm saying? I look at, I think, like I said, man, I find all of this stuff as being healthy for the market. You got to look at the market as an objective thing,
Yep.
and evaluate your investments accordingly, right? Like evaluation. What's the best standard you got out here? Okay, BTC. What's the unbreakable token? BTC, right? Okay, what's trying to compete with the BTC? What is the next best network? How does those networks work? What are the flagship tokens for those platforms? And there's a formula to it, man. Like you're saying, like I agree, man. There's a lot of shit coins going down the jump, but guess what? There's a lot of tokens out there that's gonna make it out of here. That people aren't seeing because they're either one scared and they want to go to church. We're just gonna leave it at that, right? Or two, they're these diehard maxis for Ethereum or Solana or AVA or Bitcoin, and they don't want to look at anything else like other than LTC, whatever, right? But there's some really high quality programs and applications, and the blockchain is still doing some really incredible things in several spaces digitally. I'm excited about the future, man. I'm really excited about what the new future looks like for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and blockchain. Look, man, I'm a beneficiary of it. So if that thing go to if it go to anything over 100,000, I think you're gonna have a lot of Zays out here in Mexico.
Bro,
I think the right people. And hear me out. I think the right people are getting the wealth transfer. I feel like is going to the right people. If that
yes. The most Bitcoin transactions are happening in Africa. It's going to grow the most where it's needed the most.
And I read Africa just found another mountain of gold somewhere, and they found this some type of cobalt rock that generates electricity. Like
I'm telling you, they're always going to guys. They're always going to find more gold. They are always going to find more oil. They are not going to find more Bitcoin. It's straight up, no, it's real life vibranium in real life. Okay, coming from
real life vibranium down there. Right?
Coming from where you used to be. That's where you come from. Okay, I'm trying to tell you you're not shit. Africa's not shit. Living in huts like.
Now what's to say a country like Africa starts unifying those resources and start using BTC as a medium of exchange.
No, exactly. And before I forget, we're talking about altcoins and things like that. What I do, I separate into two categories. We have Bitcoin and everything else. XRP is going to be the currency for the banks. Bitcoin is going to be the currency for the people. Ethereum is going to be the currency for the internet. That's what I think it's going to be broken up into. XRP will be the language for the banks. It'll be the standard for banking, communications, and wiring, all that bull. And you have Ethereum for, online, and then we have Bitcoin for as a real life, everyday, peer to peer type of thing. Ethereum will be more of a mainnet for companies to build on it. But
Already building on it.
I think there's a place for everything. You don't have to be a maximalist, but I tend to during a bear market because all the altcoins are going to bleed harder against Bitcoin. But everything does have its place, and if you're here and you're here at the right for the right amount of time, catching the right prices, you will see price appreciation. These projects that have intrinsic value and that aren't shitcoins, because you have to really look through these
There's a lot of
white papers. You really have to look through these white papers because it's a lot of stuff in the fine print. I wouldn't even trust Lido staking. If I don't completely understand it, I wouldn't trust it. If you can't explain it to a third grader, you don't understand it, and you shouldn't be putting your money in it. So that's what I have to say about the whole altcoin thing. But there's a place for everything.
Yeah, well said. I agree with your standard. They say in modern terms of economics and commodities, Bitcoin is gold and Ethereum would be oil. And what do you need to move your gold around? You need Ethereum to move your gold around. Most of those networks, the transactions are driven in one way or another by the Ethereum gas fees. So it's one of those things where I absolutely agree, and I think we are the frontier. The wild west, even some people call it, of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. We haven't even seen what some of these companies are going to do application wise. Everything, just so you know, this completely ruins crypto. It makes it absolutely no longer decentralized, but the products that we should get out of it as consumers and as human beings, as long as we keep it on the blockchain, we will always have the benefit of transparency.
I agree. No more of that. I think it'll be less of these cases where the what is it called? Where the Pentagon loses $2.1 trillion. It'll have to be accounted for. You can't just lose $2.1 trillion on the blockchain. It's not possible.
I was thinking about why we're all paying a cell phone bill when every last one of these carriers are selling all of our data to all of the advertisers. Those things we'll be able to monetize.
Track see who said what where.
Selling my shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? People don't even understand the new currency for real. Like you got Bitcoin,
data.
And you got it's data, it's attention. The new currency for real is data and attention. Everything else is going to really spiral off of that. So, like, I was referring to one thing, you was referring to another. Both super valid, bro. You know what I mean? But those will be the things that the blockchain will benefit us with.
And so I just want to show you guys a quick visualization of what Bitcoin is doing right now. What Bitcoin is doing yesterday in Africa. Bitcoin.
I'm up here in the remoteness of Malawi, and you can see these beautiful rivers that are feeding a powerhouse. 1,600 families are connected to the power that comes from this powerhouse and two others. This one has 50 kilowatt excess energy, so we've come in.
Excess energy. Just keep that part in mind. Excess energy.
To work with the power producer to make use of that energy for Bitcoin mining, which makes them more self-sustaining, and it can also just increase the livelihoods or decrease the cost of power for those who are connected.
Hey, he didn't talk about price appreciation of Bitcoin itself, the underlying asset. 1,600 families are getting Satoshis for nothing. That's just free. That's just energy that would already be destroyed. They're getting Satoshis.
Yeah.
Money. Incorruptible.
They're not talking about any government subsidies. They're not talking about any taxation with that.
Nothing.
And that's because it's going straight into their wallets as microtransactions. But what if I told you, like, if you got some property in America,
solar panels,
same thing, solar panels. Like I said, you have
free energy from the sun, people.
Free energy. How can you monetize some free energy? Yeah, it's going to cost. and the computers and the hard drives and all that stuff to run these miners.
Oh, but guess what the United States is doing? They're paying you to get solar panels. You get a tax credit. You get that back. There's no excuse.
Well, the Democrats are taking that back with the
Are they? Don't say that.
The permanent forever slavery thing, though, right?
Oh God!
It's the illusion of choice. My bad.
Oh, speaking of free energy, excess energy. Do you know how much excess energy United States? United States uses more energy to keep on Christmas lights than Bitcoin. The United States by itself uses more energy 1 year on Christmas lights. Lights that aren't necessary. Lights that don't they have no effect on your living status. Okay, you put that energy that you're putting into those Christmas lights. You put that energy that you're putting into just leaving lights on in the house when you're not in the house. Like the amount of excess energy that there is on the planet, from nuclear to geothermal, from dams, from a hydropower, from wind. It's unfeasible how much energy is just being wasted all over the world. Bitcoin incentivizes renewable energy. It gives you, in exchange for something that you weren't going to use anyway, it gives you an incorruptible monetary system that no colonizer can ever debase or take from you, or put a gun to your head and steal from you. They cannot get those 24 words. I don't care how many tanks they have. They can take your little piece of land with a few big guns. They can't get that digital hyperspace in which your Bitcoin lies, as long as it's secured with those 12 or 24 words. It's incredible. I mean, it's once in a lifetime shit that we're looking at. Yeah. Get yourself some I Am Legend, some Will Smith I Am Legend shit.
Yeah, you gotta get some I Am Legend booby traps going. Some
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. The U.S. is coming. You're gonna need everything, man.
They're gonna have the drones out there. Terminators.
And then the robot dogs with guns on the top. Which they already have in real life in Black Mirror.
I just wonder how many bullets it take to take one of them down. Like, what kind of armor do those things have?
And where?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but they have been successful in Texas in deploying those for bomb disposal. I think they actually had their first police killing using. I guess it'd be a robot.
I saw that. Yeah, it blew up. It went in there and blew itself up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think about that, man.
That's a little bit nuts.
It only goes down from there, right?
Ew, slippery slope. No, it's a very slippery slope.
Will El Salvador default on its debt?
Yeah, no. We will monitor the situation, as Rashad says. So, I mean, I want to start off by saying, what is manifestation? Manifestation is repeating phrases over and over again and believing it and getting other people to believe it so that you can will it into reality. You can't tell me these people aren't trying to manifest a default in El Salvador. This is January 19th of 2022. Will El Salvador default on its debt because of Bitcoin? Markets say yes. November 8th, 2022, El Salvador says China offered to buy all its foreign debt as the nation looks to avoid a default. The NASDAQ, June 8th, 2022. Will El Salvador default on its sovereign debt in 2023? Owing to El Salvador's $800 million sovereign bond due in 2023 of January, and an implied default liability of 40%. Okay, they were saying it's a 40% chance that we're going to default. Where are they getting these numbers from? Like, who? 40% according to who? A year after El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, it could default on its sovereign debt in 2023, June 8th, same day. Definitely not a coincidence. November 8th. All my gematria boys out there, you guys probably know what's up. El Salvador has paid its $800 million bond in full. In the past year, almost every legacy international news outlet said the Bitcoin, because of our Bitcoin bet, El Salvador was going to default on its debt by January 2023. Bukele tweeted on Monday, "We just paid in full $800 million plus interest. We paid it off plus interest." Okay. Now, the reason I said this is a half celebration is because January 2025, I think they have another 800 million or 500 million, but that's 2025. That's when I think we will see Bitcoin stop free falling and start at least a sideways accumulation. But I mean, damn, they did it against all odds, against 40% odds, and every news outlet known to man, they did it.
I think this is a letter reading into the power of dollar cost averaging, and just kind of being really disciplined about holding your trade, holding our only advantage, and the thing that this guy Bukele, I can't ever say his name. He understands the only advantage that we have as retail traders, and this includes like kind of him, because he played this unlike any other world leader played this. He's the only world leader that is on the books. Let me say that on the books, world leader heavily invested into Bitcoin. Obviously, the United States has stockpiled. Obviously, all the other countries, but they're not telling you it. Either way,
and they're saying to put a middle finger up to the IMF, who, since Gaddafi, who in their right mind has publicly said "F you" to the IMF, the International Monetary, whatever the hell. These guys run the world. If you go against them, they will choke you and hang you on international television and broadcast it across the world. Okay, that's what happens when you don't listen to their suggestions. They suggested them. They said, "We're not going to help you if you adopt Bitcoin. We're not going to do any. We're not going to give you any funding." We said, "We don't need it. The reason we're adopting Bitcoin is we don't need your funding." Okay.
No, exactly, and this is one of those situations where it can get a little scary when you start thinking about them. Because like I said, he's the only world leader who has not just said we're going to allow payments here and we're going to do it. Bro, he literally put his money where his mouth is. And, everybody's talking about, setting up payment systems here and doing transactions with this token and that token there for oil and whatnot. And everybody's talking about doing it. And there have been some transactions that have taken place. But what this dude did was basically he put his entire government on the line, the entire country on the line with this bet, and it's looking like I think it's going to pay off. I think it was a smart move, especially for a third world country, because guess what? They're mining in El Salvador. They're already they're already on that. They're already taking advantage of gaining those satoshis for the people, so they can improve the living status of their countrymen. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get a firsthand example of what not necessarily a philosopher king looks like, but essentially somebody of that type of status being able to execute a plan, and then we have a blueprint, not just for other countries. As communities and nationalities and as people, we have a blueprint on how we do it going forward.
The blueprint
because of this guy right here.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I haven't seen anybody say no to the IMF publicly.
IMF and the Bank of International Settlements is they're the reasons why the Democrats are going to allow you to be a slave forever. They're actually advocates for you to be slaves forever. So
they profit off of you owning nothing.
Right.
They profit off of that. They're the ones renting your pod, getting the bugs ready.
When the bug stops, it's IMF and the Bank of International Settlements.
Yep. The century of enslavement in the history of international banking and the monetary system, something like that. It's an incredible documentary. I recommend it to everybody. You have to watch it.
It sounded like a book you wrote, man. It sounded like a book you literally wrote.
I was about to blow some niggas' minds. I was about to. Yeah, if I ever came up with some stuff like that, if I came up with a book, it wouldn't have to be on that deep of a topic. I couldn't do it. I'll have to show y'all the 1, 2, 3s of Bitcoin or something. Y'all not gonna get me in writing CMS stuff against the people. Yeah, I gotta plead the fifth, man. I gotta plead the fifth.
You gotta watch out around here, man. The AI mother overlord is watching, so.
Yeah, I just can't believe it, man. Nasdaq.com preying on the downfall of El Salvador. I can't believe it.
I think AI is really creepy, and we should do an AI show just on all the creepy shit that AI is going to do.
Oh, the technology? Yeah, we could definitely do that. Guys, leave a comment in the comment section below if you want to see an AI episode. We could mash up compilations of sci-fi, quote unquote, and fiction, quote unquote, and we see how well it's matching up with reality. I remember being called a crazy, cuckoo, tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist when I said iRobot is coming to a city near you. But with these Tesla bots and ChatGPT and machine learning and Boston Dynamics with their machines that they're making, like the dogs, Black Mirror. If you're watching these TV shows and you're seeing Love, Death, and Robots and you don't make a connection, I want to slap you in the face and grab you by the shoulders and tell you to wake up. Okay, wake up. You have to see it by now. But if you are awake, I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that you joined us for an hour to hear what we crazy folk have to say. MJ, where can the people find you?
edgeouttrading.eth on Twitter, edgeouttrading.eth on Instagram. Shoot me a DM. I also have a Discord. I'm kind of relaunching the Discord, in the process of relaunching the Discord. If you want access to that, shoot me a DM. Let me know. But just Edge Out Trading across all platforms, man. Check me out. Let me know what you think. If you got any, improvements that you want us to talk about, anything you want us to, any topics you want us to shoot us, hit us a message, and we'll do a show on it.
Straight up. Any criticism is allowed in the comment section or my Instagram.
We're not haters, bro. Like we live our lives. Our lives are pretty good, bro. We don't have many reasons to be upset about things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tell us that we're too loud, too quiet. Yell at us. Tell us we're not talking about interesting stuff.
We know how to get everybody riled up if we want to.
You know what I'm saying?
We kind of don't do it by choice because we want to make the AI overlords like us for a while.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, let us monetize. We got to monetize off these niggas just a little bit, play some ads here and there.
Yeah,
but,
we ain't some ads in there.
Hopefully they don't desensitize, demonetize. Anyway, Financial Conspirator 2.0 on Instagram. I have link to my private Telegram, the free Discord, yada, yada, yada. You guys know what's good. We will catch you on the other side next week. Stay dangerous, folks.
Stay dangerous.
Peace.